Welcome back to Crash Test Hockey, where I talk all things NHL. Today, we're going to do something very different, something new. We're going to talk about a book haul. I went to a used bookstore and picked up some cool little puppies here that I thought you might want to read yourself. Now, I haven't read these yet. I'm just going to go over what I grabbed first, and at some point, I might do a book review on each of these and give it its own video. Or not. Let's start off first with Cornered, a book by Ron MacLean. He's the host of CBC's Hockey Night in Canada, as you can read. I think this was published back in 2011, so it was pre-Don Cherry getting fired, Coach's Corner. If you don't know Don Cherry, I don't know what to tell you, unless some people really love him, some people do not. And some people, like me, maybe fall a bit in the middle. However, I think it was way past his time. But there's a lot of cool stories about Ron and how he began in the business, where he grew up, his whole life story, that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to reading this and there as I just flip through some of the table of contents there. I think it was, 2011. Did I say that already? Next up is a book by James Duthie, called Beauties, which was published, I want to say, 2020, I think, so not long ago. If you don't know James Duthie, he's the anchor of TSN Hockey. It looks like this is just a collection of cool little stories that he's picked up over the years. So it should be like, a short chapter, kind of quick, kind of read kind of thing, almost like a coffee table book. But this has gotten really good reviews out there. Next, I'm probably one of my ones I'm most curious about is this one here by Brian Burke, called Burkes Law. Now, if you don't know Brian Burke, oh wow, where did he start? He used to be a professional hockey player, but never quite made it to the NHL. I believe he tried out for the Philadelphia Flyers. He then became, he didn't study, he became a lawyer. He then became a player agent. He then became an assistant general manager in Vancouver, next to Pat Quinn, back in the day, and then became the first, then became a manager of the Hartford Whalers. I'm trying to do this from memory. And then after that, where did he go? I think he went to the Anaheim Ducks, and he was general manager when they won the Cup. And then after that, he went to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then when he was fired after that job, he went to being part of Sportsnet analyst crew in between intermission, which I think this was filmed while he was still doing that, because I think after this book came out, he went on to be the president of the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is where his current job is. He's always been a fun guy to listen to when it comes to interviews, and as a hockey panel, part of the hockey panel on Sportsnet. And so I'm really fascinated by hearing some stories from this one. Next, speaking of the Whalers. Now this looks pretty new, I know, but probably because maybe they just got halfway through the book. It's kind of making me a little nervous. But I've always been a fan of the Whalers. They're now long extinct hockey team, obviously from Hartford. It says the rise and fall and enduring mystique of New England's second, in brackets, greatest NHL franchise. This is written by Pat Pickens. So we'll see. This could either be a sink or swim kind of situation with this book. I remember him being interviewed, where I found out about the book on the podcast called The Hockey Buzz on YouTube. You can check that out. Usually there's like anywhere between 2 to 6 guys on the panel there, including Mike Ogello from Buffalo, but who covers the Leafs, for instance. So yeah. And this guy was interviewed on there, and that's when I first found out about the book. And I was like, oh, well, I used to go see the Whalers as a kid I'm originally from Toronto, but one of my brothers was working in Massachusetts, so I used to fly down. My first time on a flight by myself as a kid, because he was much older than I was. And I used to, go visit him for like a couple weeks at a time during the winter, during hockey season, and he'd take me to a bunch of games. So right when Chris Pronger was a rookie, actually, back during the day, and I think when Burke was managing the team as well, Sean Burke was in that, and so on and so forth. La 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 la. Finally, the fifth and last book I want to show you here is something that I saw right away and I grabbed off the shelf and I was like, this is going to be an amazing coffee table book and I can pick this up and put it down anytime I want. And it's called Fabric of the Game. And I can't believe anyone would just put this in a used bookstore, but I mean that's what happens to a lot of hockey books, let's be honest. Unless you work in the industry or are a fanatic like me, myself, or yourself. But it's Fabric of the Game, the stories behind the NHL's names, logos, and uniforms. That basically about sums it up. Now, I think there might be something about Seattle in here as well, I think. I'm trying to figure out when was this published. This was published back in 2020, so maybe the Seattle Kraken are not in this. But for everybody else I know the Vegas Golden Knights are in this thing, as well as teams that are not existing anymore, like the Hartford Whalers. Oh, Vegas is in there. Well, at least there's a picture of it on the back page right there, so they must say something about it. But yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see any Seattle Kraken jerseys. Sorry, Krakeners. The chapters on this, I can see I've actually started to read a little bit here and there. They're short and they're like 3-4 pages long. So so far so good. But again, maybe I'll do a book review on this later. And that's it. That's what I have so far. So Fabric of the Game. That's written by Chris Kramer and Todd Random. There's The Whalers, written by Pat Pickens. There's Brian Book. Burkes Law, written by Brian Burke with Stephen Brunt. I think that's the one I'm most looking forward to reading here. Then there's the Beauties with James Duthie, the host from TSN. And, of course, Ron McLean's book, written with Christy McClellan Day, by the way, called Cornered, as well. He's been around since, the mid-'80s and stuff. So there you have it. There are them all. If you happen to have read one of these books, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. And, maybe at some point I'll do a review on one or more of these in separate videos. Thank you so much for watching. Please. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out. And remember to be kind to each other in this crazy world we're living in. And I'll see you soon. I think I got a paper cut.